Welcome back into the Rowdy Studio. I'm Stephen Levine. This is Tom Vandervoort.
Yes, I am.
You are indeed. And this is Monday following the race at Dover International Speedway, one of my favorite tracks, one of yours too.
Great track.
I bet it's one of yours too. And Jimmie Johnson Jimmie Johnson dominated that race. It's a track that he's dominated as well. That was his 7th victory there.
Jimmie's awesome at Dover. He was awesome his first year there, and he's been awesome ever since.
Compare this to one of his championship years, it kind of looks like the same Jimmie Johnson.
Well, when you get to a place like Dover, and Jimmie and his team just executes the way you expect them to execute, they're in the zone right now. Now, the only saving grace for the other teams is that this isn't the playoffs, right? So the chances that they'll be in the zone in the playoffs, I don't know. It could change. But right now, they're looking scary good.
Yeah, not bloody likely it's going to change. In fact, the only guy who had anything for Jimmie Johnson consistently throughout the race was his teammate Jeff Gordon, who by most people's admissions had the fastest car at Dover, yet again, bad luck was the 24's undoing. This guy can't catch a break.
Well, bad luck for the driver, but if there was a loose lug nut, that's a self-inflicted wound by the team.
True.
So, and I think the problem that you have now with Jeff Gordon
is the way the cautions fell was pretty bad.
It was. That is true. Because if the thing had gone green, he probably would have won the race. Exactly. And he had the car to win the race. I mean, he had something for Jimmie. That has to be extremely encouraging for Jeff Gordon the way the season has gone. He's in wild card territory. I think we have to acknowledge that at 21st in the points?
But there are people in wild card territory with 2 wins.
Right.
He doesn't have any.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's going to have to go out and win races, and when you take a car like he had at Dover to Dover, you need that win. If you're Jeff Gordon, you need that win, and you're going to start to run out of time. So I think when he gets to Pocono, he's going to need to start being in contention for wins every week so he can pick up a couple. Because I think at least one, obviously, is going to be a requirement.
I think he's going to need 2.
And he's probably going to need 2.
Because remember, Ryan Newman and Casey Kane each have 1.
Yep.
Brad Keselowski has 2.
Right.
And none of them are currently in the top 10.
Exactly.
I think Jeff Gordon is really behind the 8 ball. I mean, Hendrick Motorsports has amazing momentum right now. Darlington, the All-Star race.
They look good in the 600.
The 600, now Dover. The odd man out is Jeff Gordon.
It's sad to say, but true.
Now, speaking of odd men out, last year Carl Edwards was 1 point away from winning the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. After his performance at Dover, he's now completely out of the top 10 and not in a wild card position because of those aforementioned guys who have wins. It's hard to, I mean, Carl Edwards doesn't really look like a championship contender. Does he even look like a chase driver at this point?
Well, I think it's hard to say. Look, he might have had a pretty decent finish at Dover if not for the issues that he had. But I think that the disturbing thing is, where's the signature the signature runs? You're looking for those signature runs in a season, especially when we've had this many races. Those flashes, those moments, Biffle at Texas, Matt Kenseth in the Daytona 500, his teammates. What's the run or the race where you said, man, Carl Edwards is on his game today? And you haven't seen it yet, I don't think. And that's why, again, Pocono becomes very important because Carl Edwards knows how to run that place. And you're looking, I think, as that driver in that team or a fan of that team, you're looking for that signature performance.
To me, the most telling statistic about Carl Edwards and his 2012 season is that he has only led laps in 2 races, and most of those were at Richmond. I think all but maybe one of those laps was at Richmond.
Right.
He's not running up front. He's not leading laps, let alone contending for wins. And right now, if he were to make the chase, it would be because he squeaks into the chase.
I agree.
Because he's not vying for wins. He's not going to get a wild card spot. He's going to have to stay in the top 10. Right now, he's not.
The second of Tony Stewart's 3 championships kind of came to fruition when he found something at Michigan that season in the front end of the race car. You remember that? 2005. He finished second that day, but he clearly found something. So I think you have to acknowledge that you can find things, you can make progress. Something can click with a race team late in the regular season before you get to the playoffs, and you can go on a run from there. So for Carl Edwards, or even Jeff Gordon if he manages to get in there, things can still happen. There's still opportunity out there. But have we seen it yet from Carl Edwards? I don't believe we have.
No, I don't believe we have either. The biggest story to come out of Dover, one of them, of course, is Kurt Busch's remarks to our intrepid colleague Bob Pockris. We're going to do a separate standalone video about that because we have lots to say, so make sure you check back.